Welcome pilots, my name is Hybrid V and we are back once again to watch your takeoff and landings here in Star Citizen around Crusader at Seraphim Station, to be more specific. This is your first time watching the show. This is where I go around various starports and spaceports like Seraphim Station here, and I watch players as they come and go, landing or taking off from the station or spaceport, and give them a rating out of 10 based on how cinematic their landings actually are. I'm in the M50 today, and I'm going to go ahead and see what we actually find. So what is a cinematic takeoff or landing? Very simply, all that really matters for a landing is a smooth, controlled descent, using the gear before they touch down, and using VTOL where applicable. I don't rate too much on how center they are with the pad, because of course we now have calling contracts and hauling in general, so people generally are going to probably align with the actual cargo elevators, so I'm not too worried about that anymore. And for a takeoff, it's a very simple process. Lift up, gear up, making sure they're using VTOLs where applicable, and then smoothly leave with no stair-stepping action, no hesitation, or anything of that sort. Alright, without further ado, let's go ahead and cut the cameras here, and let's find our first customer of the day. Alright, what do we got here? We have what appears to be either an M2 or a C2, kind of hard to tell with the color here. Let me kind of telescope in a little bit. We have a C2 on approach, white livery with the red tail in the back tells me that is a C2 on approach. No VTOL being utilized yet, that's fine. I like VTOL being active as soon as they go into the air shield. So I'll wait here in a sec. Let's see how the gear is. Gear is a little bit too early for my liking though. As they approach, nice and smooth, no hesitation. That's what I like to see. Floating just above the pad, looking good. Let's see how they touch down. Are they going to nose out? No, they're not, because it looks like they're coming straight down, which is what exactly I'd like to see. Very smooth and controlled touchdown there, although we do have early gear usage, and we do also not have any VTOLs as soon as they went through the air shield. So I will subtract points for that. A solid 7 out of 10, a very, very good outing. Could even argue for an 8, but I'm going to give it a 7 because we're just missing some extra steps there, though the control was really good, which is why I could argue it could be even an 8, but I'm going to still stick with a 7. All right, nice work there. Let's go ahead and let's cut the cameras here, and let's see what we find next. Oh, who's sneaking on past me down here? Let's take a look. It looks like a Cutlass on approach. Can we get there in time? Yes, we can. Switching back to coupled so I can slow down a little bit quicker here. And we have a Cutlass coming down. Gear is coming out right before the touchdown and looking good. Solid. Okay, they're repositioning themselves. Looks like they may be getting ready to set themselves up for maybe the cargo elevator or the actual potential elevator or even the hospital there. Who knows? But that's fine. Don't care about the repositioning. So I'm not going to take points away for the VTOL because currently, right now, the Cutlass Black is actually bugged with its VTOLs. Sometimes the VTOLs will actually get stuck in a downward position and it will refuse to switch back to the flight position, the horizontal position. So I'm not going to take any points away for that, but there was a little bit of a hard impact on the actual deck as they came down, so I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10. Let's move on. Okay, what do we got here? A Warden coming in on approach. Let's go ahead and push on in and take a cheeky peek at what we've got over here. Warden, always a fantastic ship to fly. It could be potentially either the standard Warden, could be the Harbinger, it could even be the Sentinel. Not entirely certain. I'd have to take a little bit of a closer look at the livery and also maybe possibly the weapon systems on this thing as well. And it could be a bog standard Warden. Hard to say. Let's see how they approach it. Got that really big attrition right there on the nose. Looking good. Probably a Harbinger because I think I see what appears to be potentially those Jerichos on the top there. Those missile pods for the turret. So the Harbinger definitely is always a fan favorite. It's one of my favorite versions of the Harbinger. It is just really tanky, carries those torpedoes and very big scary guns, and that turret is of course size 3 if you switch out those rocket pods. Nice approach, no gear being used. Okay, there comes the gear before they go into the air shield. All right, fair enough. I would like to see it right before touchdown generally, but looks like they're just lining themselves up nice and horizontal, and down they go. And I mean, decently smooth, could be a little bit better on the touchdown there. But, I mean, relatively good, and it's even decently centered as well, too. Not fully centered, but again, I'm not too worried about that. So, overall, we have just a little bit early of a gear activation, and then, of course, some hesitation as they went through the shield because they were trying to line themselves up. Could be maybe they were in third person or whatever. So, I'm going to go ahead and give that a 8 out of 10 because that was pretty good. Overall, I mean, you could argue that's a 7, but I still think that's a solid 8 because the control was there. Again, I just really like the hesitation to be cleared up. and the gear to actually come down right before they touch down, just so it looks a little bit more cinematic. All right, let's go. Oh, what do we got here? Somebody just coming in at mock chicken from across the field. What do we got here? Looks like to be in Ares of some description, coming in to land. Nice control as they move in. Let's see. Okay, they're getting the top-down hangar. Let's go ahead and move in and let's take a peek of what we got going here. Let's see what we got. Early gear usage. All right. And let's see, they're going to cross the air shield, lining themselves up a little bit flat, a little bit of stair stepping, but overall nice and controlled. A lot of hesitation, and then they just smash into the bottom of the hangar. They're just kind of just straight down, and nice spinal compression you get for your effort there. So early gear activation, some stair stepping and hesitation as they approach, and of course, a really rough touchdown. So I'm going to say that's roughly about a 7 out of 10. Arguably could be a 6 because I would like to see that a lot more smoothed out, but I'm going to say that's about a 7. Folks, if you disagree with me in my ratings, by all means, let me know in the comments what you think each individual pilot should get in your own right. Remember, we rate based on how cinematic a takeoff or landing is, based on how we would see other sci-fi media. So if you think someone did worse or better, let me know in the comments below what you think and why you think maybe you have other criteria that you go by. Let me know down below. All right, let's go ahead and cut the cameras here as things quiet down, and let's move on. All right, here at Orison, and immediately we have what appears to be a Hercules of some description on approach. We can already tell VTOLs are active because those winglets are no longer extended, so those side VTOL thrusters are now in use. Let's go ahead and push on in. I don't see from the shadow the gear being active. Oh, the gear coming down right before they touch down. Looking good. Woo, looking good. Really nice and smooth. Are they going to nose over? Oh, just a slight little bit of nose over. Oh, okay, so this would be basically a 10 out of 10, but they had just a very slight nose over, and that can happen if you're coming down a little too fast with the Hercules, or you have some forward momentum as you come down with the Hercules. It's the same issue that you'll have with the Constellation as well too. You have to make sure that you are coming straight down and you're coming smoothly down, so that way you don't have that problem. So that would generally be a 10 out of 10 because they had all the steps in place: proper gear activation, proper VTOL usage, and a smooth descent profile, but they just nosed over a little bit, and that's unfortunate. So I'll say that's going to be a 9 out of 10. Almost perfectly nailed it, but not quite. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, we have what appears to be a Cutlass on approach. Let's see how they do here. Let's go ahead and sneak on behind them. They have the side-on hangar here. Let's take a look. Cutlass is always a fan favorite, of course, in the Evocati patch as of recording this. The Cutlass's interior and cockpit got a complete rework, so it is to accommodate the brand new MFDs, and it is phenomenal. I actually quite like it. Not 100% a fan of the new Drake MFD colors. I'm a fan of the old green, but nonetheless, still looks incredible. Let's see how they're doing. No gear activation here, so looking good through the air shield. Are they gonna, yes, there they go, pulling the gear out. Let's bring it down now. Bring it down. Don't pull too long. Don't hold too long. Oh, okay, so there's a bit of hesitation here. Maybe they're in third person again. Most of the hesitation generally comes from people like in third person adjusting their camera and whatnot, and a little bit of a rough touchdown there. So all the steps were good. They were right over the pad. They pulled their gear out, but they didn't do it all in one smooth motion. Maybe they were messing with their third person camera or whatever. So that did cost them a little bit. So they had some hesitation there. That definitely doesn't look as cinematic as it could be. You want to try to get it all in one smooth motion. So, and of course, I'm not going to take any points away from the VTOL because right now, currently, the Cutlass's VTOLs are bugged. Would not recommend using them as a result. So let's see. Good activation, good control, but we had some hesitation there. But all the steps were in place and slightly rough touchdown. So I'm going to say that's an 8 out of 10. Very, very good. Could be a little bit better. Let's move on. Corsair on approach. Oh, they're pulling their actual wings up there. And, oh, because they're gearing down as well, too. Ah, well, you don't want to do that. That's not very cinematic, pulling your gears and your wing up that far away. You know, folks, I always get questions about why I seem to be a little bit more lenient about how I judge things. Some people are like, why do you always give people more than a 5 out of 10? And the reason for that is because if you get less than a 5, it's probably because you made contact with the hangar. And you had like an impact, you crashed, or something catastrophic happened. That's generally where you're going to start to see sub 5 on my rating. Anything above that is generally okay in my books. Because remember, in Star Citizen, even a cinematic landing, whether you're cinematic or not, I should say, like, it doesn't matter in Star Citizen. At least not right now. Things are going to change in the future, I'm sure, but currently right now, as long as you land on the pad safe and sound and you didn't blow up in the process, that is a win for everybody. But we're just kind of rating on how cinematic things are. Let's go ahead and move on in. Let's get a better view of how things are looking here. So they did pull their gear back up, but their wings are folded. I would like to see the wings fold as soon as the ship is at a much, much slower pace, just because it looks a little bit more natural, right, with the wings folded out as you're kind of gliding in, right? So let's see, no VTOLs being used there. That small little third engine on the side there, not pointed down, so we're not seeing any VTOLs. Early gear before through the air shield. Wait, is that a Banu Defender actually inside their hangar? This might be their home hangar, and they have a Banu Defender apparently just sitting there on the pad, and it's also missing one of its engine / wing things right there on the front. The little crab arm is missing. Okay, I mean, apparently maybe that was their personal hangar, and that's what they have sitting there. All right, no VTOL usage, early gear deployment, and I would like to see the wings being used in a little bit more of a naturalistic fashion. Again, as they're coming in at speed, you have the wings extended, and then you fold them up when you come to a slower hover as you're making your way inside. So, like I said, again, gear, VTOL, wings, but a very, very smooth approach. So I would say that's about a 7 out of 10. Really good. Some work can be done for sure. Let's move on. Let's see, what do we have here? We have what appears to be a spirit on approach. What type of spirit? I don't know for certain. Let's take a look. I think I see white livery on there. Could be just a standard C1, not 100% certain on there. Let's go ahead and push on in and take a peek at this individual here. What have we got? Spirit is always a fan favorite. A lot of people quite enjoy it for doing some box missions, box hauling and whatnot. It is a very solid ship. Also comes with a fantastic tractor beam. Okay, so maybe not quite a Spirit because the livery actually looks different in the lighting now that I see it here. Get a little closer. Maybe this is like an A1 or something. No, I'm pretty sure this is a Spirit. I could be wrong, but it definitely looks like a normal Spirit to me. Early gear usage, no VTOLs being used as well. But so far, everything is controlled and smooth. They're kind of hovering, a little tiny bit of stair stepping going on there as they're trying to kind of readjust their position. But overall, I'm liking this. Through the air shield, nice and gingerly. Looking good, looking good. Let's see how they touch down. Are we going to get a little bit rough touchdown? And, I mean, not too bad. The compression on the gears for the actual Spirit is actually pretty good, so you can actually land a little bit harder than you normally would, and it doesn't look too out of place. So early gear activation, no VTOL, but we did have a very controlled approach into the hangar. A little bit strong on the touchdown, but not too much I'm going to pull away for that. Oh, look at that. We got a reclaimer on approach. So let's recap that again. Gear, VTOL, and we have a little bit of rough on the touchdown. And I'd say that's probably about, give them about a 7. I'll probably be a little bit more generous and give them an 8 because, again, that gear compression, I'm probably not going to take a point away for that because the gear compression is very strong on the Spirit. But what we have here is we have a reclaimer on approach in, oh, nope, rubber banding reclaimer apparently, and not in VTOL mode. So they're trying to get a lot of forward speed and they're descending, which is perfectly fine here. Let's see if they're going to use VTOLs as they slow down and try to use it to descend. Let's see, okay, pulling the nose up a little bit here. So yeah, they're still losing a little bit of altitude because they're not quite fully in VTOL there. Okay, now they're a little bit at a hover. They're kind of just trying to align themselves. Now they got their hangar offset to the right. They're going to want to align themselves up with the hangar a little bit better here. Let's see how the approach goes. Looking good. Not quite aligned with the hangar. Okay, here we go. Here comes the VTOLs, but it looks like it's actually a gear down because you can see the little foot pad. So that is an early gear usage there. I would like to see them use VTOLs and then pull the little foot pads out right before they touch down just because it looks more cinematic. It looks a lot better. So, okay, cool. Now they're aligned with the hangar. They're going to have to strafe now at this point, which could be a little bit tricky with the actual reclaimer. Just got to make sure you don't overroll. Oh, it looks like the hangar is actually closing. The hangar is closing on them. So this person might have actually called their hangar a little bit too early on approach. Reclaimer is a very slow ship, so if you call the hangar from the maximum range the station can actually pick you up at, it may end up actually closing your hangar because it needs to potentially leave those hangars open for someone else to come or go. So it has a set timer, and it will eventually close on its own if you don't land within a given amount of time. So this person's going to have to call the hangar again goodness, they're rudely locked out of their hangar. So you're going to have to give them another ring and have the doors open. But at least they're in a steady hover. One of the things you have to be careful with the reclaimers, you don't want to overroll it because there's not too many strong side thrusters on there that can keep it up. So if you go too far into the roll, the reclaimer will sink like a rock. So you have to be very, very careful about how you approach it. All right, looks like they're kind of still holding. Could be also waiting for the ATC. Yep, there we go. The doors are now opening. So let's see how their landing actually goes now that they actually are going to be able to get into their hangar. Maybe we'll see some customization down there. Will we see any vehicles? Don't know. Let's take a look. Let's move on in. Lining themselves up. Nice side strafe. Looking solid. Not going to really bonk them on the hesitation because they had to hold there for a long time simply because the hangar closed on them. I want to see if this approach at least is relatively smooth as they come in. One of the issues I see a lot of reclaimer pilots have is they kind of overcook their descent a little too much, and it'll end up actually smashing that claw on the bottom a little too hard. It's actually really, really easy to do that on the reclaimer. Let's see how this pilot does. Watch the rear end. Watch the rear end. Oh no, clips the rear end, and they're going to start colliding forward because there's no forward thrust, and it's going to be all downhill from here, I think. Oh no, they're able to recover a little bit. Okay, good. Now slow, smooth, a little bit too fast. A little too fast. Okay, slow down. Good. Bring it down nice and smooth. Oh, too fast, too fast. Ooh. Ooh, yeah, that's nasty. They ended up smacking the bottom of the pad with that one. Again, like I said, you want to go slow with it because once the gear catches, the whole ship, the weight of the ship will come down. And if you're coming too fast, you'll end up actually smashing the claw. And it doesn't look very good when you do that. So we had early gear activation with no VTOL usage, and we have an impact with the hangar and a really rough touchdown. So I'm going to have to rate that a 4 out of 10. Definitely needs a little bit of work. Remember, folks, you are not the center of the universe when you're in, say, a reclaimer. Your actual cockpit is way in the front of the ship, so you have to remember you have tons of ship behind you. So as a rule of thumb, just get closer to the other side of the hangar, get a little bit closer to the front of the hangar, and that will help you out. Let's move on. All right, I decided to go back to Seraphim Station, and of course, as soon as I get here, I have the Rent-A-Cops trying to scan me, and you all know what I love doing here, folks. Let's try it out, and here we go. It works every single time. I love it. So if you don't know what I'm doing there, the AI, when they come to scan you, they love to sit in front of your canopy, and it looks really cool because as you move around, they kind of try to stay in that same position, but you can also kind of exploit that to get them to smash into the side of the hangar by kind of whipping your view around. It never gets old. It never gets old. And it's a great source of Crusader security armor as well. I love it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and steal this guy's duds, and I'll be right back. And of course, we have another Crusader security here, and I think we're going to give him the same treatment here. Let's see if we can get 2 for 2 here. Let's see. Can I smash you into the side there? Oh, got a wing. Can I get you to blow up, sir? Papa needs a new Crusader security helmet. And nope, not quite. Didn't get the best of him there. Maybe we can move him over to this side here. There we go. Okay. Oh, he's kind of overshooting. Maybe his engines are damaged a little bit. There we go. Okay, follow the leader. Here we go. And oh no, he's gonna fly away. No, I want you to crash. He's gonna fly away. Oh, rubber banding. Okay, there he is. Okay, he's just gonna spontaneously explode. That works for me as well too. I guess the server probably stalled and it took him out as a result. Well, that works for me. All right, enough shenanigans. Let's go ahead and cut the cameras here and let's find our next customer. We have a Constellation on approach. Let's take a look here. And do we see gear down early? I see the tray is out, actually. Or maybe this pilot actually just took off. I just saw this person on radar, so I just came over here. Don't know if they're landing or taking off yet. Could be that they actually just took off. And their tray is down, and they're very... looks like they're like looking at something. I'm trying to see here. No, I don't see anything unless they're looking at that galaxy off in the distance there, but... don't quite see what else there, but I think maybe this person just took off because it doesn't look like they're that interested in the actual hangar itself. Maybe they're interested in whatever those floating landing gears are. They're not entirely certain. Or they could be setting their quantum actually to take off here. Oh, no, here we go. Down they're moving. See where they go. I do kind of want to watch this ship quantum if they're going to quantum away with their tray down also. Let's see what they do here. They're kind of meandering a little bit. Let's see. It looks like they're interested in something over here, and I can't... Oh, what is that over there? I think there's some crates over there. Right in front of them, you can see there's some crates. There's one crate there, two crates there. Looks like one is like a size 4 crate, and the other one is like a size 1 crate. You can see right there. And it looks like that's what this pilot is interested in. I don't know. Maybe it could be maybe one of their deliveries they did. Maybe they crashed into the station and dropped their cargo. Or they just saw it on radar as they came out and, you know, they're just looking for something nice to pick up and sell. Remember, if you're using your tractor beam and it says contracted on the actual container itself, that tells you that that container is either stolen or it belongs to someone who's doing a mission. Maybe they had a bug or they, in this case, crashed in the station and lost the cargo. Either way, it will be marked technically as stolen. Oops, side hatch opening there. Oh, there we go. Here comes the pilot with a rifle tractor beam pulling in the actual size 4 container. That's not going to fit in the airlock, sir. Sorry, that's not going to work. Square peg, round hole. That is not... That's not going to work. They're going to find out very quickly. Yeah, they're going to have to abandon that approach. For sure. They could definitely probably get the 1 SCU in there, but not the size 4. You probably want to use the actual tractor beam turret and maybe just grab that and throw that into the tray. But yeah, if it's marked as contracted or contract, I think it's contracted is what it says. And you see it on the actual container when you are tractoring it with your tractor rifle or whatever tool you're using, that means that it's technically marked as stolen. If you want to sell it, you're going to have to sell it at a no questions asked terminal in order to actually get a little bit of money for that. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this fella here because they're doing a little bit of salvage operations themselves, recovering some of this cargo. So I'll leave them to it here as they... Where do they... Is that somebody EV? Yep, there it is. That's the EVing person right there. So he's EVing, trying to grab the cargo. Let's see. Can he actually... Yep, he's going to get it on the tray. And snap it onto the tray. There you go. All right. I'll leave you to your business, sir. Enjoy your new gains here of cargo that you just found. I'm wondering what that was, though. White crate, that could be... Well, it could be anything. It could be like gold or something like that, I guess, I suppose. I don't remember what is in the white containers. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on. I just noticed off in the distance here, there is a Hull C, and then there appears to be a player Mantis that's buzzing around them like a bee. And it's making this Hull C owner a little bit nervous. He's not entirely certain why this Mantis is kind of buzzing around him. I'm assuming this Hull C is trying to actually collect cargo. I don't actually see cargo on them, though. Unfortunately, the Hull C is still quite bugged in this patch. Still a lot of issues with it. CIG's tried to fix a lot of the docking problems. They fixed some of them, but there's still like misalignment issues, and there's still issues with actually trying to get the cargo on the ship too. And yeah, it's definitely not good. Yeah, not entirely certain what that Mantis is doing, but anyway, I'm going to leave them to their own devices there. Let's go ahead and cut the cameras here and see if we can find who else may be taking off or landing today. We have a Hercules on approach, and that Mantis is buzzing around him like a bee as well. Doesn't have their actual dampener on, so maybe this Mantis is just very curious, or maybe they're trying to roleplay security. I'm not entirely certain. Trying to scan ships as they come in. But let's take a look at this Hercules. Let's go ahead and get a closer look and see what we've got here. Looks like an M2 based on that livery, default M2 livery on approach. Let's see how they do here. Looks like they are heading towards the far side of the actual station itself. Are we going to see proper VTOLs and gears? Let's find out. They're going to have to line themselves up here, so they're going to have to side strafe and realign them, reposition. Let's see how they do here. Looking good so far. Only a little bit of hesitation, not too bad, but of course everything looks solid at this point. Let's see early gear deployment here. Let's see if they use VTOLs as they come in through that air shield here. Looking good, a little bit stair-steppy, but overall really, really good. Oh, he has a gunner. I just realized, oh, he's firing warning shots at me. These guys might be doing trading or a cargo mission of some description. Oh, nose is over. Ooh, careful there. Ooh, a little bit spicy. The gunner continues to shoot at me. I wouldn't recommend that. If you end up hitting me, you're going to end up turning the ship red, and those turrets you see there at the bottom of your screen, folks, that's going to end up attacking you. So don't shoot at me. I'm not here to steal your cargo. I am just a measly M50, so... We have Early gear activation, no VTOL usage, and an unfortunate nose over and some stair-stepping action there. So that's going to be a 6 out of 10. Could be better as he continues to shoot out of the hangar there. Also, take a look at this 890 in this area here. So this 890 has been abandoned, and somebody just came and absolutely, we try to avoid some of this debris here. Actually, somebody came and just completely stripped it. So that must have been a fantastic payday for whoever came and stripped this 890. Anyway, folks, I'm going to cut the cameras here, and let's find our next customer. Just saw this Cutlass coming in. He just sneaked right past me, so I got to zoom on in. Let's take it. He's doing like a mail slot approach inwards. Looking good. Oh, no, he clipped the bottom of the hangar. Careful there. Clips the bottom of the hangar, and now he's losing control. He's flying up in the air. Careful. Reposition. All right. Oh, well, probably a little bit of lag there. Looks good there. Looks like they're trying to reposition themselves, or at least trying to align their back door with the terminal and the elevators there. Yeah, so they came in what looked like a mail slot approach into the hangar and ended up clipping the bottom of the hangar there. Don't know if that was due to lag or if that was an actual impact there. I couldn't see quite the gear. I think the gear was out a little bit early. I'm not 100% certain. So I will say that would definitely be because of the impact. Definitely, I would give them points for that mail slot approach, but we had an impact. I didn't see the gear, so I can't quite comment on where that was at. And then there was a little bit of hesitation and excitement in the hangar as they're trying to realign themselves. So that would generally be, I'm going to give them a 5 because I like the attempt at that mail slot landing. Let's move on. And we have small hangar opening up here, and we have what appears to be a Firebird on the deck ready for takeoff here with that, I believe it's is that called Ashland? I don't remember what the name of this skin is. I think that is the Concierge skin. The one that Concierge can actually get a hold of. I believe that's what that is. I'm not 100% certain. Let's go ahead and make our approach here and try to see how they do. Looking like they might be doing a bolter pattern. Gear is still down as they cross the air shield. Pull the gear up. Pull the gear up. It will look a lot better if you pull the gear up. And they don't quite pull the gear up. That's unfortunate as they make their way out there. And zip up. Did they pull their gear up? No, they didn't actually. It looks like they just kind of opened their limiter instead. You can see the Mantis very curious as to what just popped out, and he wants to buzz around them. Yeah, so we had gear out the entire time. A little bit slow to also vacate the area, but I'm okay with the slowness. I would prefer the gear actually be up, especially because that would be a really nice bolter pattern takeoff they had there as they just rocketed out of the hangar, but it was a little bit too slow for my liking. So I will go ahead and give that, let's see, overall good control, but like I said, that gear, I have to take points away for that gear. So I'm going to say that's probably about, let's give him a 7, because I also would like everything to be a lot smoother and done in one motion rather than it being slow and then immediately faster. That'd be a lot better, more cinematic if everything was just done in a smooth motion. So let's go ahead and cut the cameras there and move on. So we have a Constellation on approach, and the Mantis is buzzing around them like a bee. I don't know why this person here is really, really interested in watching people. Maybe they're trying to watch people take off and land like I am here. Maybe they're just as interested. So they're coming in. I like seeing the VTOLs a little bit early, but I like the VTOLs nonetheless. Oh, a little bit. Is that an impact? There's a little bit of lag there. Oh no, with the turrets! The turrets are opening up on the actual Mantis. The Mantis gets demolished. Oh no, I think there was a little bit of server lag there. There was some rubber banding, some weirdness there, and I think what might have happened is the server might have stalled, and I think it thought that the Mantis had made impact with the actual Constellation, and as a result, when you do that, that's technically a hostile action when you ram another ship, because you did damage to them, and as a result, the station will just completely obliterate you, as they did the poor Mantis. So the Mantis has buzzed its last ship it saw over here in the spaceport. It just got completely dusted. For the Constellation, I like the VTOL usage. Gear was out a little bit earlier than I'd like there, and there was just like a really long pause, and I think it's probably because they were trying to figure out who was attacking them. So I'm not going to give them a rating, but I will give them commendations for actually using the VTOLs appropriately and having a decent landing there. But because there was some impact, there was some lag, some weirdness there, I'm just going to go ahead and say that's a wash for now. But overall, I did like what I see there. Poor Mantis just got absolutely obliterated. This is why I don't try to get too close to people as they're taking off or landing, simply because you never know what the server is going to do, and I don't want to end up ruining someone's day or end up blowing myself up in the process. So I always try to stay far away and just zoom the camera in just to make things a little bit better. But hey, that's the name of the game, folks. Here, it's completely unscripted. Don't know what's going to happen. That was good. I quite enjoyed that. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, I think this is going to be actually a good stopping point for the day. I did see over here somewhere there was like an actual crate. I saw like a destroyed ship over here, and there was like a crate. Someone left something in their inventory. Oh, there it is to my right here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and head back home to our corp, but I'm going to grab this crate here, this mystery crate. And let's go ahead and see if we can snag that. Nope, I'm a little bit offset there. So let's go ahead and just going to strafe to my right and line myself up here. And can we grab it? Yes, we can. And yoink. There we go. Bring it on in. And we're going to set that down on my grid in the back. I love the Nomad for this type of stuff because it just has a really nice tractor beam and has a grid readily available. Super easy to grab stuff like this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut things here, folks. Thank you so much for watching. If you did indeed enjoy this video, please leave a like as it really does help with the channel. And of course, if you want to watch more videos like this and much more down the line, be sure to subscribe as well. And of course, if you want to go a little bit above and beyond and support the work that I do here, consider becoming a channel member like these fine folks right here on your screen, as their contributions are super, super helpful for me getting these videos out to you all. But until next time, folks, fly safe, because you never know who might be watching, and I'll see you all in the black.